Let's see. I don't know what happened to the laundry basket. I need a new sock. Sock it to you. Try not to get too up close and personal, but hold on. Oh yeah, there we go. All right. Let's make sure you're paying attention. It's nice and close. Now, about that word math, you got to put the all back in the sum, right? Oh wait, hold on. I got it. I forget the sock. Get a tissue for your issue. Or paper towel. Okay? Or a tissue for your issue. Now remember. It's like a 2-word combo. But every time the board might get a little dirty, so we want to get a little bit of that awesome back into it. Just spray a little on, not too much, That bee sting kind of hurts a little bit sometimes, so you got to put a little bit of honey into it, make it a little sweeter. People like the sweet stuff. And that bee sting, man, whoo, tell you, it'll get you. So we're going to take the sting out of the bee sting, and we're going to give you some awesome. Now, I like to call this one, you guys ever see that movie House Party? It's kind of cool, They used to say, when you dip and dab in the Kool-Aid and you don't know what flavor it is, better be careful. Why? I like to call this one the Double Dip Daycare. Double Dip Daycare. Yeah. See, some of them parents that are older than us, older than us, right? Let's see, I'm going to call this word, what was they call it? Babble? No, it's not babble. See, it's called Tricia. To reach you, to teach you. Did you hear that? Tricia. Right? To teach you, to reach you. Listen to that again. Tricia. Okay? Teach you, reach you. Tricia. See? It's a real short word. It's like multiple words in it, right? Really fast. This is like language 101. You guys are going to love this. This is a double dip Kool-Aid, right? But double dip daycare. Now, I like to call this one how you write item number 4? Is it VI or IV? Yeah, IV, right? It's like putting an IV in your arm, man, just sucking the life out of you. I call it Title IV, right? This is a federal funding, right? And it's going to be about them budget cuts, right? It's Title IV federal funding. I like to call this the double dip daycare, right? Now, some of these parents that are older than us, they're about in their 50s, 60s, 70s. They got this thing they like to call, hold on a minute, the double dip daycare, right? Now remember that. This is important. The Title IV federal funding. See, when you talk real serious about it, people don't understand you. So it's like the Reader's Digest of the old days, right? Laughter is the best medicine. So we're going to put a little humor into the seriousness of what's wrong with Title IV federal funding. I like to call this the double dip daycare. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you could see it. You notice there's a little darkness here, right? So I put that awesome on there. and the marker's not really sticking to the board no more. I mean, if you look real close, you can still see Title IV federal funding. It's like in white now, but this black clouds is kind of looming around it, you know? I mean, that's like, I can't get that off of there. Man, I'm going to have to show you this. So what happens when you put the awesome on it, right? It's still there. You can still see it kind of, but, you know, I mean, it's there. But it's just kind of, you can't see it, you know? It's like hanging out under cover, right? So, Title IV federal funding. Call this double dip daycare. Why? See, my old man, not my father. My father's in heaven. I don't know about y'all. I like that God thing. You know what I'm saying? Because God, when God turns you on, He hooks you up to that vine. Well, that information just keeps flowing. It's the best teacher on earth. I'm telling you. You should pick up a Bible today and start reading it. I mean, you might be a little crazy at first. Woo! And what a rush. You know? It's like that movie Broken Arrow, right? You know, it's who's that actor in Broken Arrow? Do you know, babe? That's John Travolta, man. Come on, it's like Saturday Night Fever. Woo! What a rush. You know? So let me give you a rush. Double dip daycare, y'all. Now, my dad used to have this joke he used to say, because he thought he was really smart. And he was pretty angry when he had a kid that was smarter than him. I mean, can you imagine that? Being a nuclear missile tech, okay? And having a kid in second grade, I could just be like, hey, let me tell you what this is about. I mean, damn, right? Yeah, he didn't like that too much. So he had this thing he liked to call Rent-A-Kid. And he thought it was a big joke at the time, and he thought that I would never get it. It's called Rent-A-Kid. Okay? That's called Rent-A-Kid. Now, his joke was you could rent a kid for $100, right? And this is where the joke comes in. But if you bring that kid back early, you got to pay $200. So let's do the math. So if you rent a kid, okay, you get $100. Now we're not talking about $100 in money. I mean, we're talking like money, right? But if you bring that kid back early, it's going to cost you more, right? But see, what it is you get the $100 if you rent the kid. But if they bring the kid back because they don't want to rent the kid, then it's going to cost $200. So this is how you save money, right? So Dad, Mr. D, says, I'll rent the kid for $100. But please don't bring that kid back because I get $100 if I rent this kid. But if you don't want to rent my kid, damn, now I'm going to have to pay, right? So let's complete the statement. Title 4E, federal funding. What a nightmare, right? And I like to give it Title 4, Eve of Destruction, right? So anyways, let me tell you about that. Don't dip in the Kool-Aid unless you know what flavor it is. So this is for the Kool-Aid gang. You ever seen that little funny thing when Mr. Kool-Aid come breaking through the wall? Yeah, you can call me Mr. Kool-Aid. See, I know what all the flavors are. When you start dipping in that, you better know what flavor it is. Because here comes the bee sting. So anyways, Title 4E federal funding. So how's that work? Well, I like to call this Club 152. Okay? So at Club 152, this is how it works. Well, first you got Dad. Why me? Right? Dad's not too intelligent, but he likes to pretend that he is. Now, when you borrow intelligence, it's because you start listening to what other people say and you start acting like you're smarter than them. Well, that's just a terrible thing. Why not just admit it that, hey, this guy's pretty smart. Why don't I listen to what he has to say? Okay, so yeah, we can all agree on that by now, right? All right, cool. So Club 152, all right? Now, if you're a member of this club, okay, don't let them drug you. It's horrible. I've been down that road, man. Let me tell you what. You know, was it the withdrawals from that? Man, it really sucks. But you're gonna get there. But if you remember this Club 152, you know what I'm saying? I like to call this, they got like that copyright signal. So we're gonna shorten this up. See, you ever heard of that thing called shorthand writing? That's the long handwriting. It takes up a lot of space. So we're gonna shorthand it. That's when the letters get closer together. And I like to give it this copyright symbol. It's called the IQ Club. It's called Club 152. I mean, it's better than gambling. I mean, you never have to go to a casino or anything because why? It just wouldn't be fair, right? So I try to stay away. I go to a casino a couple of times, My friends wanted to go, so I went with them. But I try to stay away from those places because it just wouldn't be fair. So I go to have fun, and I usually leave with what I went in with. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't want me to go in there and leave with more than what I went in there with. You know what I'm saying? So I like to obey the rules too. So if I'm going to obey the rules, then everybody else needs to obey the rules. So here we go. Club went through. Oh, well, let's put a name up there. I'm better than James. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not everybody like James, but I'm better than James. Let me tell you why. It's funny how Club 152 is on top of James, right? Yeah. Like did you read that parable of tenants? It's like a catch you on the flip side, right? So tell you about James and the Club 152. This is called double dip in the Kool-Aid. And I like to call it the flip-flop double dip daycare service. Now, yeah, definitely not. Okay, so anyways, now the thing you gotta worry about with James is James likes to sit around and act like he's king of the castle. It's all innocent, right? He'll make you do a lot of stuff too. Try to make you feel guilty. Nobody liked James though, right? Well, I'm gonna tell you why. James never did want to own up to shit that he did, but I was like, all right, that's cool. And matter of fact, he liked to show me some stubs. Now, James had a kid, and his name was, well, y'all know what his name is, so we leave that one alone, right? Now, at the beginning of this, I said, with the same measure that you measure, so shall you be measured, right? I don't have a lot of people measure me, and I like it when I wake up, because I have some really cool dreams. I mean, these dreams that I have, you guys wouldn't believe. When I wake up, I'm like, man, give me a pad of paper. I gotta write this down. It's so cool. Dreams. Okay. The dreamers, right? But anyway, so yeah. So I want to be messing up my Club 152. So anyways, I was in this little cool program. It was called, you guys ever heard of that? I mean, down here in the South, I think they call it SEL, right? And it's kind of cool, but this was a really cool program. See, this stood for gifted. You guys read, right? It's called Gifted and Talented Education. Okay? I'm glad we understand that. Now, oh, wait. Yeah, I was second grade. I tested for this, right? Wait, at the beginning of second grade, I took a reading comprehension test. See, I like this. And I got in a car accident on. I got amnesia for 7 years. But man, when that memory starts coming back, woo! You know what I'm saying? Just woo! You like that? So, anyways, man, it's getting harder to get that. I don't know if y'all can see that, but the lens is still there in white. The black's kind of just hovering around it. It's like the cloud can't touch the white. You know what I'm saying? Get in the white. You know what I'm saying? Don't be the black and white. Just get in the white. So, anyways, so now it's a funny thing because what came first? Oh, the reading comprehension test. Second grade reading comprehension test. They use that to place you what you can comprehend, right? Now, I'm starting to pretend like I don't know this word. They knew better than that, but still, it was still fun. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I tested above a college level reading comprehension in second grade. Did you guys know that? That's pretty cool. So at the end of the second grade year, they had this test that they gave a couple of the other kids, and I was like, man, I want to take that test. Well, you can take it test. I just make it C's, I'm like, I'll make straight A's the rest of the year. Man, all right, cool. Do that. Well, let's take this test. I mean, in second grade, I'm a little second grader negotiating. You know what I'm saying? I like doing negotiations in second grade. And there's been a lot of negotiating going on, but I don't think anybody's really been listening to my negotiations. You know what I'm saying? Not my negotiations are more than fair. As a matter of fact, it's pretty cheap. So I'm going to give you this education for free because I just got what I wanted. Oh, well, y'all thought I wanted a whole lot more, didn't you? Damn. I mean, there's got to be some people scratching their heads right now going, are you serious? Man, that's all he wanted? Yeah, damn straight. I mean, was that hard? I mean, really wasn't that hard, right? But let me give you some help. So I call this the Club 152, okay? And this is what's wrong with it, okay? See, these people called, down here they call it DCF. What do they call it up there? Oh, up north. Well, y'all think y'all got problems down here? Man, y'all should see it up north. North, south, yeah, they both got problems. They called it DHS, right? DHS, Department of Human Social Services, Sources. I don't even remember what it was called. But there's another DHS now, too. I mean, it's kind of funny. But I'm going to leave that one out. That's cool. I mean, we'll just leave that out. Don't worry about that, guys. We're just going to leave that out. Okay, so anyways, moving on. Yeah, and then down here we got this thing called DCF. Yeah, I think we'll go with this one for all extensive purposes. Okay, so DCF, right? So I'm gonna tell a little white lie. but it's the same thing. But we're gonna call it DCF now. So DCF came along and just ripped me up out of my home. I mean, my dad was an asshole. I mean, I can understand that. But I would have been way better than what I got, you know what I'm saying? But it's okay. Come rip me up, right? So foster homes, boys homes, just all these fucking fucked up places, whatever. And then I had all these gifted classes, and they trying to weigh that out and try and give me an education that's comparable to what I can actually comprehend. And they fell short in a lot of places. Matter of fact, I had a really cool math teacher. She's like, "You want some extra credit? You got straight A's, but here, let's just play a game. How about let's do algebra? Little guy doing algebra. The other rest of the class is like, the hell is that? It's pretty cool, right? So it's always good to have humor. So, anyways, double dip daycare. Well, DCF can come get your kids if you dipping and dapping in that Kool-Aid and don't know what flavor it is. I'm gonna tell you what flavor it is. DCF can come get your kids, right? If you ain't doing a job. And if you are doing a job, they can still come get your kids, right? Because of that Kool-Aid, that double dip daycare. Let me tell you about the double dip daycare. Okay, remember I said earlier, it says rent a kid. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of these people are good people. I met a few of them. They're pretty cool. But some of them other people in there, it's like, what are they doing? So I like to call this right. We'll leave that one out. So, fires like troubles and tribulations and stuff, right? So I like to call these the direct conflict fire, because a lot of people in there are mixed up. So, but it's not their fault. United Healthcare, Rent-A-Kid. This is the double dip daycare. Okay. So United Healthcare, Rent-A-Kid. So what they do is they'll come get your kids, right? They'll put them in a program. Oh, wait, I should probably put those in there. Hold on. Give you a little word first. Breezed. Breezed. All right. Now, I'm going to prior to the establishment, separation of church and state. I'm going to show you why that's cool. Okay, so they'll come get your kids and put them to what I like to call the program of poor people. Okay, because they're poor people. One, they probably don't have any money, right? And they probably don't have any heart. So they short on money and they short on heart because they sure hell ain't got any. You know what I'm saying? But poor people. Now, this is not to include what I like to call struggling people. They struggling, but they got a lot of heart. You know what I'm saying? Right? They ain't got no problems with this. Because money can be a lot of things, you know? I call that, back in the day, used to call that, this is for my homies, you know what I'm saying? We used to call that the struggle, okay? But, whip out your tissue, okay? This is how it works. They put your kid in a program, okay? And that was for the people with no money, no heart. I mean, they might have had some cash, but they didn't have any money and heart, you know? Heart money. They didn't care. So anyway, so they put those kids in a program, right? And they use Title or E, okay? Federal funding for that. Now, how's that work? Well, the little kid goes into the program, okay? You know, and when they're in the program, well, they got to put them on drugs. Now, why do they got to put them on drugs? Well, because that kid doesn't like all the crap that they's fixing to do to him. So they put them on drugs. It's just kind of like put them in la la land, right? Now they get more money from Title 4E federal funding to have these kids on drugs. So that's the real money maker, okay? So more money for drugs. And that's why they got those programs that says just say no to drugs, right? Now, granted, there's some people out there that might need those drugs. I think it's some of them parents. You know what I'm saying? Some of them parents need those drugs. I mean, seriously. And they like to call these the problems of the day. I like to call millennials. Okay, they call. Oh, you know that's probably not how you spell it. But anyways, they call them millennials, right? But the millennials wouldn't be here and not have a clue. You know, is parents were doing their job. See, the problem with the millennials was the Title 4E federal funding because it enabled those parents who didn't give a crap to send their kids to the program to be drugged, to be mindless zombies. There are some people out there, crime dog McGraw, just say no to drugs. Oh man, that was like a double standard statement right there. My grandmother and grandfather, man, they had a lot to say, man. I used to listen to them. I mean, my dad, not so much. But my grandma, my grandpa, yeah, I listened to them a lot. They knew my dad was a fuck up. You know, oh, I shouldn't say that. Okay, so anyways, but I try to be better, you know, but you know, it's like a downward spiral, you know. Nobody wants to listen because they're just glued to their phone and glued to the computer, right? So just say no to drugs, okay? That's that Title 4 thing. I like to call that, well, if the parents send their kids to the program and they put them on drugs, you don't hear from the kids no more. You remember heard that saying? Them old people used to say children should be seen, okay, and not heard, right? That's what they used to say. Children should be seen and not heard. So you send them to the program, you put them on drugs, okay, and then everybody gets paid all this money. Children should be seen and not heard. And that's how it works, really. So that's the big money maker. It's called the double dip, okay? Double dip daycare. I'm going to tell you how that works, okay? Now, if they take your kid and they put them in this program and they put them on drugs, well, that child is now seen and not heard. Now what happens to the parent? Oh, well, I'll tell you what happens to the parent. The parent now takes a bill reduction. Okay, parent gets a bill reduction. Okay, bill reductions. Okay, that means they don't have to pay for that kid no more. The kid has to pay by being drugged, abused, and everything else under the sun, but they're seen and not heard anymore, so it doesn't matter. So now what happens? That federal funding pays the people that do all the bad things to these kids, and remember, they're seen and not heard, so nobody cares anymore. But the parent doesn't have to pay the bills for those kids no more because Title 40 federal funding's doing it. Okay? Oh, and here's the other thing. Let's talk about kickback. See? Now, since they already know that the parent doesn't care about those kids, then the pharmaceutical companies do this thing called kickback. It's like an opioid epidemic. You know what I'm saying? Opioid epidemic. And this is how it works with the kickback. See, you get all these kids that were drugged and all this other mad crazy stuff that the parents didn't care, so the government went ahead and paid for them through Title 40 federal funding. I mean, the Clintons love that stuff, right? So they're seen and not heard. So the pharmaceutical companies look for those kids and they give those places kickback to try out the new drugs. You get one of these guys who says, "Hey, we got these new drugs for your kids because you're poor." Okay, we know what kind of poor we're talking about now, right? So then we want you to try this for your kid because then we can monitor the side effects. Okay, and then we get a free research tax return, right? Because the taxes, Title 40 federal funding, is paying these places to drug, abuse, and do all these other things to your kids. And while they're at it, they're zombies, so they're seen and not heard. Okay. And then their return for that is their free research for their pharmaceutical drugs and everything else. And that's like their tax return. So you pay taxes. All you guys out there paying taxes, paying this to abuse and drug kids, okay, and have all this messed up stuff. So that the pharmaceutical companies can get their free research with their kickbacks, okay? That's their kickbacks. I know in legislation, like they call those earmarks, right? So that's your tax return, okay? That's what your money's paying for. And then you want to turn around and complain about the millennials that this system created, right? Well, because nobody spoke up about it because these children were seen and not heard. Well, it's your own damn fault. So why are you complaining? So get on in there and won't you help some of them out? Because you're complaining about something that you created. So what gives you the right to complain? I tell you what right it does give you. It gives you the right to get up off your damn couch and get out there and help some of them millennials because you're the one that put them in that position. How you like that for a bee sting? So continuing on about that rent kid, right? See, at the time they thought rent a kid cheap. Here you go, take this kid. I ain't gotta worry about it no more. You know, or you bring it back, it'll cost me more. No, 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 no. Let me give you what God was trying to tell you with that joke. See, you rented the kid, you didn't care, and the kid was seen not heard. Well, because you didn't care, now you got all these damn millennials. Oh shit! There's your bee sting. You like that? So United Healthcare rent a kid? Yeah, it's just a bad idea. I mean, that's bad money management. You probably should put some better earmarks in that Title 40 federal money now. You know what I'm saying? But that's okay. And if you did that, then you probably wouldn't need so much money for the court system because you wouldn't have as many problems. I mean, there's your real budget cut. So let's go back to that Club 152. Y'all liking that club yet? I'm loving that club. So I mean, need one of these? I got plenty. So anyways, So that's the problem with Title 40 federal money. We call it the double dip daycare. Why? Because everybody's got their hand in it. Okay? So what do we do about that? Now, see, the Constitution and Declaration of Independence said, freedom was the equal station. Why is it an equal station? Because what you do affects people underneath you. And that's like a wavelength. Okay? Now, the people underneath you, okay? Well, the people above should know a better algorithm. Okay? And if they don't, then maybe people down here might have some advice that you really should listen to. And I like to call that the double dip daycare, because why they think they're educating you and they know so much, the person down here on the bottom might know just a little bit more. And we like to call that wisdom, right? Now you feed that to Jack and tell him I'll get right back. Mm. Mm-hmm.